Hi everybody, if you don't know, this is Chris from Blue Hawk Yoga and Steel Fitness Premier. Today, in this skills-based yoga class, we are going to work on the basis of handstand, working from the hands on up. Again, everything is optional. Give it a try. Use the wall if you need to. I'll show you the way I would like you to try to use the wall if you can. I mean, I don't have much wall space, but I can show you the general purpose of what I would like to see if you want to do it that way. So we're just going to come stand in a nice comfortable seated position because we're going to start warming up the arms, the wrists, and a little bit of the hamstrings. For me, those are the three most important things when I warm up to be able to do handstands and not feel too tight. Just going to place your hands gently on your knees. Relax your shoulders back and away. Start breathing deeply in through your nose and out through your nose. Start to concentrate the breath up and into the chest, leaving the stomach still. In through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale, just sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, you're going to cactus the arms wide. Pull the shoulders back as the chest is going forward. Take the left arm across your body. Take the right arm just above the left elbow and pull it across. Bring your hands back up. Cactus your arms wide. Pull the chest forward. Take the right arm across. Left arm just over right elbow. Pull. Bring your hands back overhead. Release them behind your back, clasp them, open the chest, pull the shoulder blades together, pull the palms together behind you. From here, we're just going to lean forward, pull the hands up as far as it feels comfortable. Don't put too much pressure anywhere. If you feel comfortable to drop your head, and pull the arms as far forward as you can. Inhale, rise on up. Release the hands. Just extend the legs out in front of you. Place the fingertips alongside. Inhale. Exhale completely. Then slide the hands along the mat. Reach the chest forward. We're going to pulse forward and release. Pulse forward and release. Let's do this a couple times. When you're at max range motion, let your body just pop back up. Reaching forward and release. Waking up the hamstrings more in an elastic way than a static way. One more time, forward, and then just fold over your legs. You don't need to be really flexible in the hamstrings to be able to do handstand. The more flexibility you have, the easier it is to get up. Inhale, rise up, bring both feet together in bound angle, dropping the knees wide. And grab your feet and grab your ankles, whatever feels comfortable. Inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold forward. Again, we're going to reach our hands forward then, and we're just going to pulse. Slide it out, let your body spring it back up. Just warming up the body in this way. Usually in the beginning of my practices, this is how I warm up my body. And then towards the end of my practice, I like to just do the static stretches. One more time, forward, and then release and fold. Slowly rise up, and we're just going to butterfly the legs up and down a little bit. And let that go. We're going to roll over our ankles, come to all fours. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. I'm gonna warm those wrists up. If you're in my Monday class, we really warm the wrists up too, so we're gonna do a bunch of those exercises. First thing we're gonna do is externally rotate the arms so the eye of the elbow is pointing towards the front of the mat. Push and round the upper back. This is gonna be a very good key when we start going upside down. Rock forward, rock back. Keep the push. As I'm going forward, I'm really pushing into my hands, pushing into my upper back, and then back. Now I'm gonna take a circle to the right. We go around 3 times, keeping that push. And then to the left 3 times. I think that was 3. Come back to center. Fingertips facing the outsides of the mat, keeping that push and round. Just rock side to side. Yeah, this is just about warming up the wrists, elbows, shoulders. You can take the fingertips facing the knees. You can do one at a time or both at the same time. Keep the palms grounded and just lean back. First round, I'm going to keep the palms grounded. Stretch the wrists and forearms and even to the biceps. Come back forward. You can release that. Shake the left wrist out, then the right. Handstand is a lot of pressure on your wrist. You have your whole body weight going downward. Even if you're using a wall, it's a lot of pressure on the wrist. So left fingertips facing your knees, right fingertip facing your knees, or one at a time. This time as you come back though, you're going to lift the palms, bend the elbows. Just really trying to warm up the body. Gently release. Shake that out. So this next one we're going to do one at a time because it is much easier to do this way. I'm going to come to the top of my left hand, externally rotate my arm, so locking my elbow out. Top of my wrist stays on the mat, and if you want to, try to make a fist. Might not be much, you might make a complete fist. Depends on your flexibility, and release. Do one more of those, make a fist. And release the left hand, let that go. Now we go to the right hand. Externally rotate, straight arm, and then make a fist. Ooh, feel a lot more on this side. Release, make a fist. And release, shake that out. What we're going to do, we're going to take our right hand, pointer finger and thumb on our left hand. There's a joint in your wrist. So you're going to get into that joint, try to make a little separation, make a fist. Then we're just going to rotate one way and then back the other way. Just circle around, up, down, left, right. Now we'll do that on the left hand, open the left hand, right thumb, right pointer finger, it's a little separation. Then we make a fist, and then roll. If any of this stuff hurts, you don't have to do it. It's just warming up the wrists. Like I said, handstand is a very wrist-oriented motion. Release that. And bring your hands up overhead or hopefully around your ears. So this is actually a perfect handstand position where my shoulders and my ears are in line with each other and I'm pushing as hard as I can. If you have trouble with this and your hands are more here, that means more likely you're going to have to bend your back to get your shoulders and butt in line, which over time of opening the shoulders, that back bend will go away and the engaging of the core. From here, we're just going to pulse the arms back. Keep going back. Again, let the spring of your arms going back, let them go forward. And then release. Shake it out a little bit. I'm going to take the thumbs facing backwards, the arms in line with the shoulders, and just do that again. Just pulse back. See, I'm pulling back and I'm just letting my body spring them forward. Just waking up the shoulders. And then release. You can take your left arm across and pull it. Again, if you want, I like actually to take eagle arms to really then, so my left arm, right arm underneath left, eagle my arms and drop my hands to the left. Again, this is optional. You can just push the arm across. And I like to drop my hands to the left. It really helps open the shoulder a lot more. If you don't have the shoulder flexibility to do this, you don't have to. Bring it back to center and take the right arm across. If you want, left arm underneath the right and eagle the arms, then drop the hands to the right. Just feel that outer right shoulder opening. Release that. Clasp the hands behind your back again. Pull them back. Pull the hands away from your hips as far as you can. Rocking forwards, pulling back. Bring the hands down, step back, downward facing dog. So I'm going to show you something I do in my practice all the time to really help with my handstands and my scapular strength, which helps your handstands. Roll out to a plank, but instead of dropping into your shoulders, push and round the upper back. This helps really support everything, strengthen. You're thinking about strength here. Natural plank in yoga is to be relaxed. I'm looking to work and engage. Give more strength to my shoulders, more support when I'm upside down or even in this position. It actually brings the scapula around the side to support the shoulder even more. Lower, chaturanga. Drop the chest to the floor. So this is one of my favorite shoulder opening exercises. Reach the left hand out. Leave the left palm flat. Do not lift the left palm, do not rotate the left palm. All I'm going to do is roll onto my left shoulder. Maybe this is it. Maybe you keep going. Maybe you keep going here. Maybe the right hand reaches here. Maybe the right hand reaches the left hand. Maybe the right hand reaches past the left hand. Again, this is all optional to your ability. This is one of my favorite shoulder openers. The full move is you can actually plant your left foot flat to the floor, right ankle just above left knee. You drop the right knee towards the left shoulder, really gets deeper into the shoulder. So if you have the flexibility, this actually makes you feel it more. Inhale, roll back to center. Extend the right arm, right palm stays flat. Now we roll onto that right shoulder. Keep the right shoulder blade on the mat. Left arm reaches up and over. Maybe you grab the hand, maybe it's up here, maybe it's here. Maybe you just leave it here to push. Again, everybody has a different flexibility. Everybody's a different space in this journey. And then you can also cross and try to drop. Come back to center. Do one more shoulder opener. So I'm taking my left wrist in line with my elbow, elbow in line with the shoulder. Shoulder blade on the mat as much as you can. This one's more intense. It actually works into the chest, not just the shoulder. And we just roll to the left. Again, you can use your right fingers to push. You can bring your right hand around. You usually don't get as deep in this pose. You can actually just stack the feet. Whatever feels good. You should feel a stretch, not pain. Come back to center. Right fingertips out. Wrist in line with the elbow, elbow in line with the shoulder. Shoulder blade on the mat. And then roll. Left arm can go anywhere it wants to. Just really focus on the shoulder down, the opening of the chest. Roll back to center. You're gonna place your hands alongside your chest, curl your toes under, rise up into plank. From here, you can drop your knees if you need to. We're gonna strengthen our fingers and wrists here. So, right fingertips, left fingertips. Set it down. Left fingertips, right fingertips. Set it down. Right fingertips, left fingertips. So I'm just tenting my fingers. Set it down. Left fingertips, right fingertips. Set it down. Right fingertips, left fingertips. Set it down. Left fingertips, right fingertips. Set it down. Downward facing dog. Now we're just gonna bounce our chest towards our knees. Heels driving towards the back of the room. Again, opening the shoulders a little more. And then gently come still. Look forward, inhale the heels high, bend the knees, just step the feet behind the wrists. Inhale, lift and lengthen, neutral spine. Exhale, fold. Again, go on to blocks, you can just hover here. Now we're going to place our left hand or fingertips in front of our left foot. Bend the left knee, keep the right leg straight, lift the right arm. As my right fingertips land, I bend my right knee, straighten my left arm lifts. Then left hand comes down, straighten both legs and fold. Again, more hamstring flexibility you have, the easier getting into handstand will be. I do not have very good hamstrings, so I do what with I can. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back, tabletop position. Now we're going to start working with the hands within handstand. First thing, hand position. You have different positions. You can put hands under your shoulders. You can go a little wider. You can go a little narrower. The wider you have your hands, in my experience, the more it puts pressure onto your shoulders. It's easier to go up, but it's harder to hold the handstand. The closer you put your hands together, like under your shoulders, the easier it is to hold a handstand, the harder it is to go up. So now, the different positions of the hand on the mat. So, middle finger forward is as far as you want to internally rotate your arm. You do not want to go internally rotate past middle finger towards the front of the mat. That is not good on your shoulder, that's not good on anything on your body. So middle finger forward will ground you back more. It'll also make it harder for you to go up. If you bring the pointer finger forward, which opens the shoulder more, actually brings the scapula on the side a little more, really externally rotate the arm. This will make it easier to go up and makes you want to go up a little faster. You can even go pointer fingers to the corners of the mat, which will also make it easier to really go up. Maybe a little harder to hold because you don't have your whole hand facing the front of the mat. Again, it's all personal preference. Handstand is personal preference. Everybody has a different body type. Everybody has something different going on. But that going here, when I do this, when I externally rotate my arm, my scapula comes around the side to support my shoulder more. So if you ever take my classes and we do any standing posture, you'll always see me like this, because I'm always working for that push for handstand. So what we're gonna do here, handstand is a pushing motion. So this is not a handstand position with your upper body. My shoulders are relaxed. That is a handstand position. So I'm pushing my shoulders around my ears. So you're gonna bring your hands overhead, keep your shoulders relaxed first. Then you're gonna push as hard as you can overhead. You're gonna look between your thumbs because that's where you're gonna be looking when you go upside down. And relax. Push. And relax. One more time, push. And relax. Shake that out. Again, when I'm upside down, I'm focusing on pushing the mat away. The more you push, the more you can stack everything. My wrist, elbow, shoulder, hips, knees, ankles. Comes in time. Straight line a two-handed straight line handstand is very difficult because all the weight is over your wrists. It's great alignment, but it's a lot of pressure when you're not used to being upside down. Another important thing with your hands on the ground, you try to externally rotate your arm when you go up. It's naturally going to go back to center, facing your head. You never want to go too far this way. You always want to be a little more this way. And lock the elbow out. So there's two cases, I have problems locking my elbow out all the way. So it makes me bend my arms, which makes me use more strength. The other thing is if you're hypermobile in the elbow, so your arm goes too far that way, which I can't show you because my arm doesn't do that, but you have to not lock it out all the way until you have a good handstand and it can feel how it is to be on your hands, because that puts a lot of extra pressure on the elbow. So you're just trying to keep your arms straight. That's basically the alignment. You want to straight and push. That's why this is so important, because this is the pushing motion you need to go up and hold a handstand. There's another trick I'm going to show. Is very helpful when you become more advanced at handstand, but if you do not have flexible wrists or fingers, I do not recommend doing this off the start. So if you can see my hand here, it's flat, that's perfectly fine. Most people, that's how they do a handstand. What I like to do, and most hand balancers like to do, you drag your fingertips towards your palm. But if the middle part of your palm lifts, do not do this position. So when I'm upside down and balancing, this is what I'm balancing on. Move my release, grab my fingers, release, grab. Just this little motion helps me stay upside down. But if you can't do that, and your hand's flat, you still can use your fingers to balance. This is the pivot point of your balance, the middle of your palm. So when I'm upside down, if I'm flipping over, like my feet are going over my head, I'm raising my fingers to pull myself back. If I am falling back towards the ground, I'm trying to push into my palms to pull me back to center. So fingertips, palms is what I'm thinking initially when I go up. Fingertips, palms, just that little bit of balance. You can even practice that against the wall. So handstand is a very challenging position, especially if you've never tried it or if you are new to working on it. It is a lot of stress on your wrists, elbows, and shoulders. I will show you first, there's different ways to use the wall, but if you're new to this, if you kick into the wall, I want to have one leg bent and a foot touching the wall. Because if you practice kicking both feet into the wall, I'm going to be like this. I'm back bending. So when I go up, I'm going to show you here because my wall space is not that good. I might show you back there. When I go up, I'm going to be thinking, like if I'm going with my right leg up, I'm thinking right toes to the wall. So I push up, I'm thinking right toes to the wall, left leg, whoop, high. Or here, so I'm thinking right toes against the wall. Keeping this position, then I can work the foot off the wall, find the balance, and down. I'll try to show you against here. See if I can get this position. So I'm thinking right toes against the wall, left leg straight up. So here. So left leg up, right toes against the wall. So I can bring my toes off the wall, dig into my fingertips to pull it off, use my core and push. Set it down. Here, down. Here, down. So all I'm doing is pointing my toes, flexing my foot. Pointing my toes, flexing my foot. So that's how, when we use the wall, that's how I'm going to have you use the wall. The other way is to walk up the wall backwards, but that takes a lot of physical strength and to be able to fall out of a handstand. If you don't fall out of a handstand very well, or you've never done it, it's very hard to do. So I'll show, so if you're like, I don't need a wall or anything, but I want to be in the middle of the room and be able to fall. The proper way I fall is cartwheeling out. So I'll show you from this way. If I go up too hard, I'm going to step off to the right. So up, step off, and over. It's basically you're cartwheeling out of this. If you have really good flexibility, you might not even lift your hands. So I'm here, up, step, step. For me, I like to move my hand. It's more natural for me. A way to practice this, I know everybody loves it when I teach it in class, it's cartwheels. So just cartwheel up and over. Cartwheel up and over. Landing doesn't have to be graceful, it has to be proficient. So if you land, but you land softly, doesn't matter if you land with straight legs, bent legs, up, over, as long as you're landing soft. Again, it teaches you the angle of cartwheeling out. I'm not very good on one side, but again, cartwheel, bring my left hand down, my right leg up, my right hand down, my left leg up. So up, 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 down, down. For right foot's here, I'm taking my right hand down, left leg up, left hand up, cartwheel up, step, step. This is a very fun practice. You might look ridiculous when you try it, which it took me a long time to get my left hand down and right hand down first without looking ridiculous. But it's a very efficient way to practice the art of falling. Because we all fall. I've fallen out of the handstand numerous ways, and just a part of practicing a skill, a very hard skill, is falling. So I'll show you that one more time before I show you some entries into handstand. So left, right, left, up and over. Right hand down, left leg up, left hand down, right leg up, left foot down. So if you want to give those a couple tries, you can if you have enough room. If not, you can always come back to it when you're outside in the field or just whenever you want to. Then eventually what you do in the cartwheel is to actually slow down the middle part to actually see if you can catch a handstand. That's more down the line in the advanced version of that. Is to cartwheel here, hold the middle split, then come out. I'm not very good at it, so I will try it, because if I fall, it happens. So here, here, hold, down, down. Here, here. Maybe don't hold it, but it's all about the hips getting over the shoulders. Give that a few more tries. Looks good, Laura. Again, just think like you're a kid. The more you think like you're a kid here, the easier this becomes. The hard part as an adult, I know this from experience because I didn't start doing handstands till, 32, I think? 32, 33, almost 33, is getting over the fear of falling. That is the biggest thing that holds people back in their handstand or getting their handstand off the wall is a fear of falling. We all have a fear of falling at the beginning of this journey. I have a fear of falling of doing a handstand hollow back. That's one thing I have a fear of, is falling straight on my back. There isn't much exit strategy out of that pose, so I still have fears of falling in certain postures. It's just to eventually get over that, to be comfortable that knowing your body will eventually take over after doing it repetitive, over and over and over and over again. Again, the more hours you put in, the more practice you put in, the easier the pose becomes. So now we'll come into the entry into a handstand. I'm going to give you 4 different entries, starting with the basic one that everybody usually goes with, is your standing split. With the standing split though, I know how people like to take their leg back and open their hip. That's one more thing you have to do when you go upside down, is close the hips off. Do not open the hips in your standing split. Try to keep them closed. Bring my hands to the mat. Again, position is up to you, in, out, pushing, but pushing is the key here. So I come here, I push.
There's 3 different hand positions. You can go a little behind your hands with your shoulders. You can become over your wrists with your shoulders. You can actually go forward. The whole problem with forward, it's easier to go up, but you have to naturally be able to pull it back. So maybe just start with here. So standing split, my right leg's high. What I do is I bend my knee into my chest. I think hips up, not forward. My hips will naturally go forward over my shoulders, but my hips gotta go up first to land gently on my shoulders, hopefully. So bend the left knee, reach and flex the upper leg, and kick. This will be easier to hold. So maybe you just bend, kick the heel into the glutes, reach the right leg up. This is easier to hold than all the way up. Again, I'm pushing as hard as I can, and then down. Again, a wall is handy too, even if you don't do that little toe touch I tell you, just to have it there in case you do kick too hard. Flipping over is the biggest fear of this posture. So that is the first entry. That is the one that almost everybody knows, everybody uses. The next one will give you more momentum and compression. So this one starts in downward facing dog. I take my left leg high, doesn't matter which leg, but you can see my left leg better. I shorten my down dog a little bit to make it easier. I'm gonna bring my left knee, curl it into my collarbone, flex my foot. As soon as I lean my shoulders over my wrist, right about here, I set my foot straight down. Do not set it backwards, do not set it forwards. You're building compression and pop. And I think hips up as soon as my foot lands. So it's one motion, curl, 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 flex, set, go, up. Again, balance here first. Then maybe you take it all the way up. I'll show you on my non-dominant side. For some reason, I'm dominant with my opposite leg going up. But look at my knee. I'll show you from the front here. Look where my knee is going. So right leg high, my knee is here, 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 here. Flex, set, pop. It's all about the pop up. So right knee into your chest, flex the right foot, come, 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 set, go. Again, if you don't hit it, it's okay. If you hit it too much, if you're near a wall, you'll just hit the wall, which is perfectly fine. Again, in, flex the foot, knee to collarbone, compress, set, up, and down. Again, that's not my dominant side, but that's okay. So we're gonna start off with those two. If you wanna give those a couple tries, I'll give you a little time with that. Then we'll go into 2 other options, a little more difficult. For me, they're more controlled, but that is up to you. Again, it's not actually about getting all the way there sometimes. It's better to be a little short if you're afraid of falling than it is to go too hard and flip all the way over. Which I'll show you a actual exercise to practice that. Just came to me right now, I forgot about this one. So if you have a fear of falling, you can also practice this. So I take my left leg high, just scissor switch. Right leg up, switch, switch. Just try to get a little more hang time every time you do it. Switch, down, switch, down, switch. This is a very tiring exercise, but it'll give you the familiarity of legs switching and being grounded backwards. So my legs are straight. All they're doing is one goes this way, one goes up. They switch as they come down. You can also use that in your yoga practice, right leg high. Right leg goes up, scissor switches to the left, right foot to the front of the mat. Sort of like right leg high, right leg up, switch with the left, right foot forward, boom, crescent pose, or wherever you go. It's a very functional thing to put into your practice, and it's just fun. It's all about having fun, especially with this pose. It's a pose that takes years to be very, very good at. I'm only half decent at it.
I've worked a long time at it. I've had a lot of great teachers, Dylan Warner, Patrick Beach, Yuri Marmerstein, countless others. So give those a few more tries. Nice, Laura. It's also a cool thing to do on vacation where it's a beautiful scenery. Let me do a handstand. It's just fun. Again, practice, 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 practice. It's a skill. They say it takes 10,000 hours to be good at a skill. I'm not even close to that. But again, it's about the journey of getting there. It's a long journey, but it's a fun journey. This journey my handstand journey, I think, started September of 2015, right after I almost lost my thumb at work. So after that, that's when I started focusing on handstand once it recovered. And every month, every day, every year, I get a little better at things. So now we go into two other entry points into this. The one I'm teaching now is a three-legged down dog. This is my favorite entry because it gives me time to get to where I'm going. I also teach my flows like this, so if you take my class or take my classes on YouTube on Blue Hawk Yoga, I do a lot of these, which helps practice your handstand. So, again, I'll show you from this side because it's easier to see. I take my right leg high in a three-legged down dog, keep the right leg flexed, keep the hips square. I bend my left knee into my chest, I look past my hands. Bend my knee into my chest, look past my hands. All I do is hop my hips high, use my right leg to pull. I'm looking between my thumbs in all these postures. And then you can set it down. So my left leg is high and bring my left foot forward in a flowing situation. I'll show you again on the opposite side. Left leg high, keep the hips square, flex the left leg, bend the right knee into your chest. All I'm doing is pushing my hips high. They carry forward to land on my shoulders, right heel into my glute. Push them out of the way. Lock the arms out. And then push and set down. And just relax. So that's one of my favorite entries into this. This is more the traditional way to enter it, is a downward facing dog, legs together, float forward into a handstand. There are different leg positions for this. There's also a drill I will show you. So I bring my hands down. Three-legged downward facing dog. Look forward. Inhale the heels high. Bend the knees towards my chest. I bring hips over my shoulders. Hips high. Hips towards the ceiling. Up. And then whoop, handstand. Push the mat away. And then you can come down to a forward fold or just come back. So there's two proponents to that. One is actually going straight up into a handstand. The other is the handstand tuck. Heels and knees in line with each other, then handstand. So up, here, opa. Try that again. Up. So you're here, then you can straighten your legs. Old house and going downhill doesn't work out very well for that. Here, push, straight up. In, up. In, up. This is an exercise also. It's a very hard exercise, but you can take it against the wall. May your toes touch the wall there. Keep everything squared. And the last exercise for this is up downs. So that same thing, but I'm thinking straight up. Kick my legs up, come down, back to where I started. I'll show you the front view here. So I'm grounding into my hands, looking forward. Heels high, bend the knees, float up, set back down softly. Float up, set down softly. Pop up, whoop, maybe flip over, set down softly. Again, a lot of these, you don't have to do them right now. Maybe you take them and use them down the road. Again, this is a skills-based yoga practice right now. So we're all working for that straight line handstand eventually, where everything is straight. Again, there's two things that won't help with your handstand. One is if you have really tight shoulders. Other one is if you're very bendable in the back. So think about engaging the core. That's why when I teach this position here, this is important. Push, round, bring the belly button in. Because when you go up and you don't do that, you look like this. You're kicking and using your back to pull your butt over your shoulders. So I don't do this often, so like that. I should have showed this earlier, but that's trying to use my back to get my butt, my shoulders in line instead of using the rounding of the back and pushing. Again, it's a journey. Maybe you start out like that. Maybe you learn to use your core and tuck. Maybe you open your shoulders enough so you can get everything in line. I'm gonna do one more bonus. Yeah, we'll do one more bonus entry. For a lot of my students, this is their favorite way to get in because everything is going forward at the same time. So I sit back on my right heel, my left heel is in line with my right knee. I'm thinking this connection here, that's all I'm thinking. As I go forward, I plant my hands, I straighten my right leg behind me as my left leg straightens and pushes up. So that looks like this from behind. Lean into the left knee, straighten the right leg behind me, plant the hands, lift the left foot up. So you can kick as much as you need to off the start. Eventually you just want to straighten the left leg and pull you up. I will show you on the other side. So I'm sitting back on my left heel, my right knee, right heel's in line with the left knee. Right knee is in line, hopefully with the collarbone. I'm going to reach my hands forward, plant, or extend the left leg back, lift through the right foot. Over. And push. More push, the more control you have. I'll show you that from the front side. Yeah, this way. Knee, collarbone, reach the hands out. As my hands land, my left leg straightens, my right leg straightens up. And flex the back leg. It helps pull up. That time I used too much in my lower leg. That's what pulled me up and over. So again, here, reach, plant, up. Control, that gives you the most control, in my experience, other than a press handstand to go up. And I do not have the press handstand, so this one is also very fun. So I'll show you on this side from the front. Knee here, reach, plant, lift. I didn't have my arms straight, I didn't have my arms locked. Reach, plant, lift. And then down. The down motion, I'll do another class. The down motion is very, very hard. You have to push harder, you have to lean the shoulders forward to counterbalance the butt coming down. Again, that comes in time. Everything in this practice comes in time. So, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully this helped your handstand. If you have any questions, please contact me, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything. I'm always here. Be safe, be healthy, take care of each other. Namaste.